This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Hey everybody, it is the After Party live on a Hide in Your Cave Monday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. A lot to talk about with the Mark Thompson Show. And I got a last minute email from Kathy O. And I wanted to share this with you. It is St. Patrick's Day. And so I thought we'd do a little moment of celebration here on the After Party Live. Here's what Kathy has to say about St. Patrick's Day. She says, make sure your kilt is short enough to do a jig, but long enough to hide your lucky charms. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Kathy O, thank you for the message. I really appreciate it. Gotta love a little St. Patrick's Day joke. So thank you for that. Let's see, where else are you going? Yeah. Irish blessings to you all. Good morning. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Dan. Please do hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Makes a big difference. And Sea Dog says Irish blessings to you all. Yeah, absolutely. Rev wants to know if I hate it when folks call you Kimber. I don't think anyone's called me Kimber. I'm not a particular fan of Kimmy. I know that other people like that, but to me, I Kimberly is fine, or Kim. Kimberly makes me feel like I'm in trouble though. But Kim, I mean, you can't really shorten it any more than it's already shortened. Kimber, Kimber's fine. Kimmy, I don't know. Whatever. I'll answer to it all. I'm casual. It's flexible. Nullifidian says they're magically delicious. Gordon says I hated when kids called me Gordana. Oh no. Billy says Lucky Charms, the last racist box of cereal. Oh, funny. Kimby, maybe. No, I don't think anyone's ever called me Kimby either. My dad used to call me Kimberlove. That was sweet, right? Mars says, Kim Possible, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. There you go. Did everyone use Irish Spring in the shower this morning? I don't know. Do you guys celebrate St. Patrick's Day? During school, people used to say, you get pinched if you're not wearing green. I have green eyes, so I always would just point to my eyes and go, I'm always wearing green. Like I'm perpetually green. That's just the way it is. I don't know. Kimbro, yeah. I had friend's brother. Friend's brothers always make fun of you. Used to call me Kimbo the Bimbo, so that was fun. Yeah. Not fun. Don't call me that. I wear green, says Donald. Yeah. Why not play along a little bit? I'm driving home from San Francisco on Saturday night, where I dropped Julia off to go to the San Francisco Symphony. There were all along Lombard people lining up to get into the bars and wearing green and having flashing green light necklaces on, and it looked like a big old party. And I was really impressed. There were some people that were outside selling hot dog vendors, operating right at the bar lines, like they knew that it was going to happen. So yeah. Susan says my eyes are green too, and I would say the same thing. You know what? It counts for something, right? Absolutely. Call me anything, Gordon says, but don't call me late for dinner. Nullifidian says, I used to celebrate it, but I don't drink anymore, so that defeats the purpose. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big drinker either, but I celebrate a little bit, I guess. I like to, hang a little shamrock sign or have a little something holiday related. I know, I'm silly. Viewfinders, how does that work? Your eyes may well be green, but a colorblind person might not see any green. That's why you have to tell everyone, right? When they come up to pinch you, what's going to happen. So there you go. I love traditional Irish music. Yeah, green eyes are the best. All eyes are really nice. I have a green thumb, says Gordon. Does that count? I think perhaps it might. All right, let's get into some of the stories that we have today. And by the way, thank you for clicking the thumbs up button. I'm, by the way, 50 subscribers, 51 or 50 subscribers away from the goal of 2,500. So 50 more subscribers, 2,500. And that'll feel good. I know it's not 100,000. I know it's not 3 million as David Pakman has, but 2,500 was a goal, and that'll feel really good. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button and the thumbs up button as well. Of course, this show is crowdfunded, which means we rely on you to help keep the show rolling. So thank you for all the contributions via PayPal. The link is in the show description every day, and it's in the About tab here on YouTube as well. All right, enough of that. Enough of the business. Now on to the pleasure. Hello. Good morning to you. Let's talk about new moons. Are they moons? Are they rocks? What the hell are they? And do we need to have a more stringent category as to what qualifies as a moon and what qualifies as a rock? Astronomers have discovered 128 new moons orbiting Saturn. Now, Saturn was already the moon king, but this kind of really clinches that title. The number of these objects, though, has scientists questioning what's a moon versus what's a rock? Do we need to have some kind of, I don't know, rules in place as to what's what here? On Tuesday of last week, the International Astronomical Union, also known as the IAU, recognized 128 new moons in orbit around Saturn. They've been discovered by astronomers from around the country. Saturn now has a grand total of 274 moons, almost twice as many as all the rest of the moons in our solar system combined. So it is now the Moon King. An astronomer in Taiwan. His name is Edward Ashton. He said these are small little rocks and they're floating in space. So some people might not find it quite an achievement. But he says he thinks it's important to have a catalog of all of the objects in the solar system. The findings, which have not undergone peer review yet, have been posted on a server called ARXIV. The scientists say they monitor the space around Saturn with the Canada-France-Hawaii telescope up at Mauna Kea between 2019 and 2021. They discovered these new moons with a shift and stack technique, which they say works with multiple images that are combined with the moon's orbital path to make the celestial body bright enough to identify. Previously, using this method, they were able to spot 62 other moons around Saturn, and they say it was that study that prompted more intense research in 2023. And then they found an extra 128 moons. It's the largest batch of new moons, they say. So, okay. The moons are irregular, approximately potato-shaped, only a few miles across. For the comparison, the diameter of our moon is 2,159 miles. The newly discovered orbiters are located about 6.5 million to almost 18 million miles from Saturn, which is much further than Saturn's rings and major moons. Astronomers suspect that these newly identified objects are fragments of ancient moons that became trapped in the planet's gravity during our solar system's early history and then either collided with other moons or with comets. Though the team has classified the moons into potential families, grouped together by a common source of fragmentation. They suspect one such family, which has 47 of these newly identified moons, they call it Mundalfari, in honor of the Norse deity, fragmented at almost 100 million years ago. An older collision, they say, would have seen the fragments smash each other out of existence by now. So, the important thing is, pardon my cough, that the discovery of these new, quote, moons could shed light on early solar system dynamics and how Saturn's rings may have come about. So, are they moons? Are they fragments? Are they rocks? Are they important? Yes, they are. From that to this. I don't know if you ever really want to see this. I have a picture. I thought I had a picture. Here it is. Gator in a motel. That's the most unwanted visitor. Yeah. There's a little problem in this motel. A live alligator was left behind in a Michigan motel room. Not what you want to see. Police near the northern tip of Michigan's Lower Peninsula were called to this motel to help secure a live gator. Michigan, not Florida, not Louisiana. The Sheboygan Police Department said officers were called to the Pine Rivers Motel, where housekeeping found a live alligator in a recently vacated motel room. The housekeeper said, "We just went in to clean the room, and when my nephew looked under the bed, Wally was there. He was a real friendly gator, so I didn't feel really scared." He said he let the police officers hold him after all that. So if you let people hold him, he can't have been that horrible, right? He said it was a real friendly alligator. It's all fun and games until Wally takes a chomp out of you. The owner was contacted and told police he knew Wally was missing, but didn't realize he'd been left at the hotel. The owner of the alligator, not the owner of the hotel. Police determined 3-foot-long Wally belonged to this man who owns multiple exotic animals and takes them to elementary schools for demonstrations. He thought it got out. He looked for him, couldn't find it. Wally was reunited with his owner on Friday night. They gave it back. I guess it was a big mistake. So Wally was allowed to roam free in the hotel room. That's just crazy talk. There is a wreck that has been found on Lake Superior. Look at that. Down in the depths. This shipwreck from 1892 found on the bottom of Lake Superior, which, by the way, has a lot of shipwrecks down below. This one, though, hasn't seen the light of day since before Oklahoma became a state. It was called the Western Reserve. And in its time, pardon me, still overcoming this, it was a really important ship. It was one of the first all-steel vessels on the Great Lakes, built to break cargo shipping records, deemed one of the safest ships afloat. But on August 30th of 1892, a gale overtook the ship, and it sank within just a matter of minutes, with only one of the 28 aboard at the time surviving. The ship lost to the raging waters of Lake Superior until 2024, when it was discovered 600 feet below the surface, about 60 miles northwest of Whitefish Point, off the coast of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. They sent some divers down. They captured these images and videos of the shipwreck, revealing that when the Western Reserve, what it looks like more than 130 years after it went down, it had broken into two pieces with one half on top of the other, which added to the challenge of finding it. The video of the shipwreck revealed snapped beams, a deformed hull, and a bell that managed to stay intact. That's what you're looking at there. So there you go. So interesting what lies beneath. There is some words that are really important when we're communicating with each other. I'm reminded of the old song interjection. Yeah. Interjections are critically important to communication. Things like wow, huh? Those parts of speech. You might think they're trash, right? When you get on the radio or take a broadcasting class or a speech class, they say your goal is to not say Speak clearly. Those are wasteful words. If you only have so many minutes or seconds to get your point across, you don't want to use wow, these types of things. But now scientists say maybe that's not so true. That maybe they don't convey information about the topic of the conversation itself, but they are more important than you would think. Linguists say that they're more important than trash words. They're crucial traffic signals to regulate the flow of conversation. They are tools to negotiate mutual understanding as well. And that, according to linguists, puts interjection at the heart of language itself. They may be the hardest part of language for artificial intelligence to master as well. A linguist at Radboud University in the Netherlands says it's the phenomenon that lives right under our nose that we barely notice. Turns out to upend our ideas of what makes complex language even possible in the first place. Used to be linguistics scholars focused on written language because that's what they had records of. Then recordings of language became available. So they started analyzing spoken language the same way they did as writing. And when they did, they found out that these interjections, this one words or two words, not really part of the sentence as a whole, were used in everyday speech. One in every 7 utterances are one of these things. You're going to find one of these interjections flying by every 12 seconds. So, linguists say apparently we need them. And they say they regulate the flow of conversation like a toolkit for conducting interactions. If you want to have a streamlined conversation, these are the tools that you would need. An or from the speaker, for example, signals they're about to pause, but they aren't finished speaking. A quick huh or what from a listener, on the other hand, can signal a failure of communication that the speaker needs to repair. And it's not in just English, it's universal. They looked at 31 languages around the world, and they found all of them used a short, neutral syllable similar to huh as a repair signal. In that moment of difficulty, they say you're going to need the simplest possible question word, and that's what huh is. They think all societies will stumble on this for the very same reason. Others serve as what some linguistics call continuers, such as mm-hmm, uh-huh, yeah, shows you someone's paying attention, and the speaker should keep going. Sign languages, they say, often handle continuers differently, but two people signing at the same time can be less disruptive than two people speaking. So, and different interjections all send slightly different signals. So, very interesting. As someone who loves communication and wants to make sure that I'm communicating most effectively, I found that to be pretty interesting. That those words mean something. And recently, I put a short video out on YouTube, and I had stumbled over a word, or I said something, used an interjection, something like that. And I thought how obvious it was that that is not AI. How obvious it was that I'm a real person speaking. So perhaps these words will be even more used, as if every 12 seconds isn't enough, especially in videos, to let people know this is real. This isn't fake. That's not fake. It's real. All right, let's go to the lotto of the day. I actually have two today. Lottos of the day. It's a big Michigan day on the show. I don't know why that happened, but it did. This one is from the Michigan lottery. This man broke a record lottery jackpot. I hope I haven't already done this story, but if so, that's okay. It's a great story. This man cut his night out at the bar short when he won a record-breaking $677,000 jackpot playing Michigan's Club Keno. It's called the Jack. You can see it there. This 54-year-old man from Wayne County said he bought his ticket while he was having a drink of JP at JP's Trolley Shop in Taylor, Michigan. He said, I don't usually play the Jack, but when I saw how high it had gotten, I decided I better give that a shot. He said, when I checked the ticket on my phone and saw that I won, I immediately left the bar. It was overwhelming and emotional to win such a huge amount of money. This guy's ticket matched 9 of the winning numbers in a draw, earning him the largest jackpot in that game's history. Again, just over $677,000. So there you go. Also, another lotto of the day. How about 2 in one day? Oh, yeah. Pardon for a moment. Can you guys hear me now? I hope you're hearing me. I think what the problem was I muted myself to cough and then I didn't unmute. I'm sorry. I was hoping for some hide in your cave Monday. Oh no, now you can hear me. As Rhonda says, long story short, new crew arrives, International Space Station. There was hugs, there was handshakes. They floated in one by one. Yay! And here they are. And now the two astronauts that have been stranded there for 9 months finally get to come home. Thanks, Elon. But it was handshakes all around, everybody happy. It took them when they docked about 29 hours from the time of liftoff, and that took them once they docked an hour and 45 minutes to make sure everything was safe enough to open the hatch. So, long hair looks wild in space. Yeah, it does. I'm sorry, you guys. Here it is. Sorry, I just can't shake this cough. Crazy. All right. Well, let's move on. How about this one? Hopefully, you guys can hear me and everything's back to normal. This is a story about my favorite topic, microplastics. They are making photosynthesis more difficult for plants. And because of that, plant yields could be dramatically affected. On average, these little particles of plastic could reduce photosynthesis in plants and algae by up to 12%. This according to a new study. The plastic-induced stress on plants could exacerbate food insecurity for hundreds of millions of people. The assessment published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences March 10th. And the researchers write, humanity has been striving to increase food production to feed an ever-growing population, but these ongoing efforts are now being jeopardized by plastic pollution. The findings, they say, underscore the urgency of cutting pollution to safeguard global food supplies in the face of this growing plastic crisis. Previous research suggests microplastics in the soil can be taken up by plants and obstruct their absorption channels for nutrients and water. They might release toxic chemicals into the plant or block the algae's access to light. So they went about measuring all of this. 3,000 data points from 157 studies of microplastics in plant, and then they used AI to model those results on a global scale. And the work reveals microplastic could reduce plant photosynthesis by as much as 12% on average. And that would cause a 4 to 14% yield loss for wheat, let me say it again, wheat, rice, and corn worldwide. So there you go. Yeah, microplastics. We're screwing ourselves over and over again in a million different ways with this. If you are married, you're a married man, you are 3 times more likely to be obese than if you are unmarried. Isn't that interesting? 'Cause I've seen studies that show that married men live longer and are happier. So this doesn't necessarily jibe with that. But there is a new study that says each year of life in middle age was found to slowly increase the risk of getting heavier. We kind of knew that. The researchers say being married triples the risk of men becoming obese. Women's risk of being overweight, 39% higher, men's 62% higher compared with unmarried couples. Married men were 3.2 times more likely to be classified as technically obese than their unmarried counterparts. Not mirrored in females, because the women who are obese, they think are stigmatized by society. The research done in Poland from Warsaw's National Institute of Cardiology. They said women cannot accept living with obesity and they're more likely to take action to lose weight. It's interesting. The measure, which looks only at the height and weight, has been criticized by some as oversimplistic. But for the study, they looked at more than 2,400 Polish people, typically aged 50 or over, and they found getting older increased the risks of becoming heavier in both sexes as well. Each extra year increased the risk of being overweight by 3% in men, 4% in women. Depression or poor health knowledge also, they said, had a significant impact. So that was on women, but not found in men. The team concluded this: age and marital status have undeniable impact on living with overweight or obesity in adulthood, regardless of gender. And so, inadequate health literacy and having at least borderline depression were associated with obesity in women. It appears from our results, they said, that dissemination of health knowledge, of health promotion across the lifespan, could reduce the worrying phenomenon of increasing levels of obesity. Okay. I don't know. Maybe, maybe. We'll see. I mean, it's obvious to all of us. I think we all knew that every year of life, you tend to get put on more pounds, right? Unless you're really monitoring it. Is it because you're married though, and you don't have to care anymore? I don't think so. It's okay, Heather. Get married. Don't worry about it. It turns out that people that have an affinity for nostalgia are better for friendships and they're better for mental health as well. Now, some people might go, oh, your friend's cheesy, they're living in the past. But a new study says that people prone to nostalgia are better, have a little edge when it comes to their health and their well being. Nostalgic people have more close friends. They put more effort into maintaining friendships and relationships than less sentimental people. This study is published in the journal Cognition and Emotion. They said even teenagers can feel and benefit from nostalgia. The study done at Kyoto University in Japan, and one of the lead researchers said people who feel nostalgic more often and value those memories are more aware of their important relationships and the need to nurture them. This means these friendships may be more likely to last even as we get older and our lives, our interests, and our responsibilities change. It's true for me. I have friends that I've had since elementary school and we're maybe different politically or mm, what we're focused on. Maybe they had kids early, I had kids late, so things are different. But the core friendships are really important to me, and I can't see myself ever letting them go. Social networks, they say, play a critical role in a person's well-being, providing psychological and cognitive benefits into old age. They looked at 1,500 people in the United States and in Europe. In the first group, nearly 450 undergrad students at the University of Buffalo in New York were surveyed about their level of nostalgia and their network of friends. Those who said they were nostalgic put more importance on maintaining their friendships and had the most close, very close friendships and relationships. The second experiment sought to find this nostalgia effect among a pool of nearly 400 US adults. Participants with an average age of 40 were surveyed. Once again, those who were nostalgic were found to put more work into maintaining friendships, and they had the most close friendships. And finally, the third experiment used data from a long-running Dutch social science survey to examine the effect of nostalgia on social networks over a 7-year period. And results showed people tend to become more nostalgic the older we get. The people who scored high or medium for nostalgia kept the same number of strong social ties between 2013 and 2019, particularly for people to whom that they could talk about important matters. Those with low levels of nostalgia had 18% fewer close relationships by the end of 7 years. Results indicate tendency to reminisce about happy times helps people realize the importance of relationships, provides motivation to maintain them. There is evidence, they say, showing that young adults report nostalgic feelings slightly more frequently than middle-aged adults, while older adults report dramatically higher levels of nostalgia. The reasons are all different. Young adults may reminisce about their high school years or family moments while facing difficult challenges into adulthood. For older adults, nostalgia is more likely to be associated with experiences about loss and feelings maybe of a limited future. but nostalgia is good for our mental health and good for our friendships, according to this new study. So I like it. Okay, I'm unmuted now, ready to go. I was thinking, I got you, fam. There you go. Those are actors in the photo, not real friends. You're probably right. Um, I'd like a hermit. Been at it for many years. No, you don't. Here you are on this show talking to chit-chatting. You're not hermiting, Rev P. We see you. I thought we could take a moment, if possible. And we talk about caves. I got a great email from Ricky about caves. But I thought we could take a moment and talk about libraries, because libraries are kind of cave-like, right? Smithsonian Magazine has the most incredible pictures of 15 of the most enchanting libraries that will, they say, thrill us. So I thought, sure, I'll look at your libraries. I'll treat them as a cave, because sometimes spending the day in a beautiful library, it's the best. So let me see if I can't get this video added, and I'll take this fake friend picture down, and there we go. All right. Wall-to-wall books, they say, tell a interior design story without saying a word. You're looking at the Tyler's Museum Library in the Netherlands with a beam of light coming down. Look at that. So beautiful. All right, I have another one for you. Here it is. Next one. That's kind of a fancy, modern-looking library, isn't it? They call it an architecturally stunning main library at UC San Diego, named in honor of one of the world's most popular best-selling authors, Theodore Geisel, who used the pen name, of course, Dr. Seuss. That's the doctor. It kind of looks like a Dr. Seuss library. Absolutely. Library at UC San Diego. Oh, that's my kind of library. Look at that. Wow. Incredible. This library is at the Strahov Library in Prague. You can look upward at the ornate ceiling where works of art have distracted readers for centuries. Pretty incredible. They say lots of wood, but maybe not many books. There's this one. Grace the walls on the spiral staircase of the Public Canada Water Library in London. That's interesting. Here's another one. Wow. That's pretty incredible. This library is in Amsterdam. It is the Rick Museum in Amsterdam, an incredible library with magical light, books, tables. Beautiful. Here's another one. Let's head to this remains of this ancient library. Can you imagine being in there? This is the Library of Celsus in ancient Ephesus. More than 12,000 scrolls were once housed here, but now tourists come, readers come, but there's no books left in that library. There's a lot of books left in the Biltmore Mansion, though, in North Carolina. Look at that library. That's pretty incredible. Again, that's in the Biltmore Mansion. It's the old library in the home in North Carolina. Can you imagine? I love how all the books match in that library, too. The next library I have for you is the Morgan Library and Museum. It's a venue in Manhattan. It's a wowzer. Look at that. You see that? Look at that light. So beautiful. It's a 3-story inlaid walnut bookshelves. Began as the personal library of financier, collector, and cultural benefactor J. Pierpont Morgan. It's called, again, the Morgan Library and Museum in Manhattan. Incredible. Get a little close up of that. Take a look at that up above. Isn't that incredible? Look at the frescoes painted there. Just wow. Yeah, pretty special. Next library we have for you is from the 15th century. It's called the Mala Malatestania Library. It's in Cesena, Italy, and it has reading desks. It was built in the 15th century, and still today it functions as a public library. Can you imagine all the learning that went on in there, everything that happened in there? I'm sorry you guys are having to deal with me and my nose blowing today. But this is a gorgeous library. I have another one for you. Check that out. I'll make it a little smaller. Some of these, it's like, God, hard to believe. It's so beautiful. This is the National Library of Brazil. It's in Rio de Janeiro. Holds a lot of information about the country's culture and heritage. It's one of the largest national libraries in the world, and for sure, the largest in Latin America. Look how big that is. Incredible. Look at that ironwork. Look at that. So cool. And the lights. Wow. So pretty. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm library geeking out, right? This next one is called Book Mountain. There it is. That looks like a regular library to me. This is in the city of Spijkenisse in the Netherlands. It's called Book Mountain. They say you have to use ladders to get to a lot of the books in here. This next one is at the University of Washington in Seattle. And this is one of those things that might make you actually pick this college to attend, because look how incredible that library is. That's beautiful. With those lights overhead. Wow. Yeah. This library is called the Suzzallo Library. Again, at the University of Washington in Seattle. The overhead lighting, they say, creates a kaleidoscope of colors in this library. When you go to the Library of Congress, you got to look up. Look at that. Yeah. So pretty. This is the colorful ceiling in the Great Hall. Absolutely beautiful. Library of Congress, you might think, oh, it's a library. No, you have to. If you're in this area, you have to go. It's so incredible. And the last library on the list is the library at Trinity College in Dublin. It's beautiful. This library features the busts of great philosophers, writers, and men, pardon, who supported this college, including clergyman Patrick Delaney, who you can see here. Again, the library at Trinity College in Dublin. What they didn't put is, God, my niece went on a college tour last year. She ended up going to UCLA, but one of the colleges she visited had a library that was built more than 100 years ago, and it looks like the Harry Potter library. Just really, really beautiful. All right. I did have, I'm gonna hide in your specific cave, because I know that that libraries aren't technically caves, but Ricky sent me some really, really cool caves that I thought I would share with you. Now, this video is really, really long, but it details this cave that was found beneath a gas station. And I will say These crazy spelunker guys.
You made this like little cave.
Here, I'll delete the sound there. But these crazy spelunker guys go in and go as far as they can. They say that these caves might have been affected by a gasoline spill. And they go on, and I'll kind of fast forward the video a little bit. They need ropes to get down in there. In some of the areas, it looks like, are you sure you want to go in there? Because you could get trapped. But down they go. And they're in there for a long time. Again, more than an hour. And they go from room to waterway, and deeper into this cave. It's incredible what they find down here. And many people have been here because they find graffiti down here as well. Absolutely wild. Here's just some of the footage. I'll put the link in the chat if you want to check it out. I spent way too much time on this particular cave. Here, let me put it in the comment section. Way too much time. I'm utterly fascinated by what lies 162 feet below this gas station. This is absolutely the wildest video. And again, just when you think it's over is when they find more. It just keeps going on and on. They found a massive lake 170 feet below this gas station. Flow stones, giant rooms that are created of flow stones, waterways, wild. And they take the craziest chances. They are walking through. Look at, at this point, it looks pretty big, right? At other points, it's incredibly and scarily small. So, but on they go. Over and over again. Yeah, they say they didn't expect it to be that big. And again, there you can see a lake down below. See that lake? They're showing you the top of the cave, the water dripping down, and this lake down below. And it looks smaller probably than it looks to them. It's just incredible. And this is only a third of the way through the video, a little bit. We'll scroll ahead. Some of the passageways look so small, but you can see the graffiti. So people go down here and explore like this. At some points, they just look, now they have to go down. And it's dark. Here's another lake and waterway. They go swimming through the lake and they find a little opening on the other side of it. And they go in there too. These people are nuts. And they don't know how deep the lake is. Is it hot? Is it warm? Is it filled with gasoline? They don't care. They go in. There they are, swimming in the lake. Crazy. Anyway, how's that for Hide in Your Cave Monday? Thank you, Ricky, for thinking of me and for sending me this. So here they go. Little teeny tiny. They're going in. Some of them they go in, they find are dead ends. So they go into a room or they, but if there's an opening, they're going to go in and they're going to try to keep going. Just wild. All the things, how deep it goes. There's another lake they found. Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was worth sharing. Again, I put the link in the chat if you want to check it out. It's crazy. And it's kind of going on an adventure with them, and an adventure you really wish they wouldn't go on, but yet they do anyway. And then the whole time I'm thinking to myself, I hope they find a way out. Otherwise, they're going to have to go all the way back from whence they came. And I don't know if they put breadcrumbs or markers to let themselves know where to turn. You could get lost in there forever. It's huge, huge. But they made their way back out. So, yeah, back out they go. Hide in Your Cave Monday, everybody. And after all that, you know what I didn't do is use my hide in your cave Monday graphic. So there you go. That's hide in your cave Monday. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, the link is in the chat. Check it out with sound because it's incredible. Yeah, I can't even believe it. Vanessa talking about libraries, not Santa Clara's library. It has huge picture windows on both floors. Heather says, I moved all the way across the country, not super close with old school friends as much, which is fine. A lot of them went MAGA anyway. Oh, as far as being nostalgic, yeah, sometimes you have to cut ties. Just the way it goes. Murphy says, I have 0 friends from elementary school. They all moved away during those years. So I only know people from high school and after. Basically, my friends live in my phone. I think friends from, high school, that's saying something if you still know people from high school. That you can keep up those relationships. I'm trying to teach my kids that you have to put in the time and effort. So a lot of Julia's friends went to different high schools from middle school. And I say, you have to call and text them and keep in touch with them. Otherwise, in 2 years, it's going to feel weird to go back and try to call people, right? So, yeah. Vanessa says, I would feel like the walls are closing in on me. About the caves. Yeah, crazy. I wouldn't go down there either, which is why it's so fascinating to watch the video and a little bit scary as well. Rev P says there are channels dedicating to discussing cave exploration and disasters. I bet there are. I mean, spelunking is a big thing. And maybe these people are skilled, but I kept looking at them going, oh my God, you guys are crazy. Wow. Yeah, some of these cavers are just crazy. That's what I thought. Regarding libraries, Rhonda appreciated the libraries. I'm glad because I think it's peaceful. Heather says they recently remodeled the library at my college. I got to check it out at my last reunion. Though it's impressive, I was kind of sad to see it modernized. I like it old-timey and neat. I like an old library too. Even if it smells a little musty in there, I like a nice old library. Absolutely. The comment from Vanessa, oopsies, I got confused by the card catalogs in college. SJSU was on the Library of Congress system, and my public library had the Dewey Decimal. Oh, going back and forth between systems. Yeah. Phineas says they probably intentionally make library chairs uncomfortable so you don't fall asleep in there. Yeah, because it's so peaceful, right? Absolutely. Phineas says, speaking of keeping up with high school friends, I saw my high school friend that lived next door to Adam Schiff yesterday. Oh, well, look at that. Very nice. Yeah, they all come back on Facebook, don't they? And isn't it weird? Then you realize, now I realize why I didn't stay friends with you after all. Absolutely. Donald says, I like libraries with old giant wood desks, bookshelves, and leather chairs. Absolutely. And I would say stained glass lamps as well, right? All right. Well, that is the after party live on this Hide in Your Cave Monday. Got anywhere to go that you want to go virtually tomorrow? Send me an email, kim@theafterparty.live. Hopefully I won't have to take as many cough breaks. I won't screw up and forget to unmute myself and this show can get back on track because I'm still struggling when I have to speak for an hour by myself a little bit. Thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing to the show in all the ways that you do. Please click the like button. If you know anybody that has YouTube and you think you can get them to click subscribe on the channel, again, we're only 50 away from 2,500. So that's kind of exciting. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Make it a very good one, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow. But for now, bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
You are right. I'll work on it.